of scale do you want to end up producing the xylitol?
So xylitol, I think the minimum scale that you have to produce to be cost effective is about 10,000 tons. So we think the market for our process is probably on the range of 20 to 40,000 tons a year. So, our product is going to be a natural product compared to the one that's out there right now, which is produced by this chemical hydrogenation. So we think that's also a marketing advantage to the product as well.
And then when you're talking about your specialty pharmaceutical rare sugars that have the really high price tags,
yep,
and then you make them more available, what do you do? Where do you price those? How does that work?
Well, that's a good question. We obviously want to charge as much as we can get for them, but many researchers won't buy them if they're a certain price. So we've got it's hard to go through the whole strategy of how we price those, but we have very good margins on those products, and they're priced not dirt cheap, but they've significantly dropped the price out there too, and they've made it so that people come out and actually can buy them and test them. Part of it is just the availability as well too. A lot of the other ones, even though we've priced those, but I don't think you could get 100 grams of some of those products, even though I had that price as a representation. I don't think anybody else could make some of those products. So there's a huge opportunity, I think, for these rare and unusual and modified sugars because they're just not available. People are afraid of sugar chemistry, and so what we're trying to do is simplify that whole thing.
Yeah. Feedstock for the starting this commercialization of xylitol?
The feedstock?
Yes, which one?
Okay, so the best, we've worked with, I can't specifically tell you the companies we're talking to what their feedstock is, but I can tell you it's either corn, sugarcane bagasse, or we see wood as a really viable, either hard or soft wood, as a really viable alternative. We probably haven't explored that as much as we should. So. Yeah.
You started with market analysis as compared to technologically driven solutions. How much pre-work was involved in terms of market determination before you moved to technological solutions?
Before we raised money for the company, we did all that. So that was actually, it was a requirement of what we were going to do was analyze the market and as to what the best opportunities were, and used that as part of our business plan in our first round of financing. So we didn't start off as a technology looking for a market. In this case, my previous company, we did. This was one where we put together a business plan, and the goal was to go out and raise money around that. And so we evaluated a number of technologies from different universities and partners, as well as coming up with our own technology. But we found that as one of the we saw that as one of the easiest, not easiest, but one of the areas that we thought we could make the most impact in with our skill set. And so we did all the market analysis, we talked to customers, we did all that ahead of raising the money on the projects. So before we even start.
You mentioned the dental caries aspect of xylitol, but I think I heard in one other presentation about the it's a non-insulin dependent sweetener.
Right, so it's also both mannitol and xylitol. I'm not sure about sorbitol, but they can be used as diabetic sweeteners in diabetic products as well. So yep, that's one of their applications. Now all these polyols, the one's downside of the polyols is that they have GI effects. So if you consume too much of them, they don't sit well. And that's true of sorbitol, which is used in a number of products. Actually, xylitol, mannitol are better than sorbitol, so if you can replace it, it'd be great. But that's why one of the main applications are things like gum and small hard candies, where I don't think you could ever use them in a beverage.